just don't want to admit or even accept the idea that it's just whatever we had as a family is gone.
They don't have a choice.
This is a big change. The family as we know it no longer exists.
I had other choices. This is what I wanted. I have to watch as they destroy what I wanted.
Hey everyone, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. It's Wednesday, October 26th. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I actually had someone in the comments thank me for telling them the date that I do my videos, and I thought, well, that's cool. I'm glad that you like it. You know why I do it? Because news is so changing on a daily basis. So I feel like if I mark it of the date that it is, then you know when I'm reporting this, so that if you come and find this video in 2 years, you'll know, oh, this was 2 years ago and it's not new. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So I'm glad that some of you like my dates. Welcome. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I was looking online and noticed that there's a couple new teasers for this week's episode of Sister Wives. And I know that I'm doing a lot of Sister Wives content. I think I said this yesterday, but it's just been like so overwhelming because the family is in chaos. And I feel like it reminds me of the Duggar stuff when all of that went down. So it's like I'm just trying to get ahead of things, and every time I'm ahead, I'm behind. So the new clips of this actually show Robyn and Meri sitting down and talking about Christine leaving. And I thought, wow, okay, this is interesting. And some of you yesterday were really upset with Meri, and you thought that Meri was so awful to say that she was disappointed in Christine and felt betrayed, and knew that Cody felt betrayed. And a lot of you just said that that's really disturbing to you because Christine has gone through what Meri's gone through. Wouldn't she have empathy for her? But she doesn't, sadly.
Congratulations, you're leaving the family. Like, I don't know what I'm supposed to say to this.
So let's talk about Robyn and Meri's reactions to Christine leaving, and why Robyn is mad that Christine destroyed the family. It's always about Robyn. Before we get started, can you do me a huge favor and give this video a thumbs up? Also, I'm working towards hitting 300,000 subscribers by the end of this year. So if you could, hit the subscribe button on the way out and turn your notifications on so you know when new content loads, and for when I go live, if I ever go live, and leave comments if you have something to say. Thank you to everyone that has been subscribing. I super duper appreciate it. It's been awesome to see so many new faces here. So let's talk about this brand new clip that came out from TLC. In the clip, Robyn and Meri are sitting outside what looks to be or appears to be Meri's house, and they're talking about their reactions to Christine leaving. Now, I don't know if you're with me on this, but I just want to put this out before I even talk about this clip. I always think it's really weird that Robyn always runs to Meri to talk with her about things. I know that they're close, but I actually don't think they're as close as they want you to believe they are, as they seen on TV. And I always think it's weird because Robyn has a relationship with Cody that's like functioning and they're seemingly happy. And then she runs to Meri to like vent to about life, and then try to always bring Meri back in. It's almost like she doesn't want Meri to leave because she doesn't want her kingdom in heaven to be destroyed by her leaving. And she doesn't want her chance of being a goddess destroyed. And I think it's manipulative. If you ever watch them as they're talking about leaving, they're always trying to manipulate one another into not leaving. It's sad. They manipulate each other into believing that having feelings is wrong, which is horrible.
Just don't want to admit or even accept the idea that it's just whatever we had as a family is gone.
They don't have a choice.
This is a big change. The family as we know it no longer exists.
I think you guys remember that the tell-all last year, Robyn was having a super hard time accepting that Christine had left. And she was even like going as far as saying that in her eyes, Christine and Cody were not divorced, even though by that time Christine had actually moved to Utah. But because she said that Christine didn't go through the church, they weren't actually divorced. Robyn is committed to plural marriage. She wants the celestial kingdom. Now, a lot of you say that Cody has enough wives. I want to tell you something. I've spoken to Kristen Decker, who is the daughter of Owen Allred, who was one of the prophets of the AUB, the group that they came from, the Browns come from. And she said that like 3 wives is the bare minimum. And that's like getting your foot in the door. It doesn't even like ensure that you get the kingdom. And because there's no specified number known, the more that you have, the better. So when you just have the bare minimum, you're playing with fire per se. So not only having 3 is like the bare minimum, and also Christine leaving could affect them going into their little paradise where Cody becomes a god. I know it's so weird. I don't understand this belief system. It seems like sacrilegious for someone to believe in God and then become a god. I don't get it. But alas, so they're going to create their celestial kingdom, and now that he doesn't have another wife, it's ruined, and so she can't accept it. I don't think otherwise she would care that Christine left or not, because this whole premise of suffering is because they want to become gods and goddesses in heaven. That's it. And she believed by picking Cody because she was the 4th wife was going to get her what she wanted. It's selfish on both parts, man and woman.
When she was talking, it was like release the relationship. I could see it. I could feel it on her.
Really?
Oh yeah, I recognize it.
You've been there.
She can't accept, even though that Robyn cannot accept that Christine has actually left and has left the relationship. She said that when Christine was talking about the relationship, she could tell that Christine was done and over. How? Because she's a divorcee too, and she knows what it's like to leave a relationship. So she could tell that Christine was over it. Yet she still can't accept it because she can't accept the fact that her celestial kingdom and her heaven is messed up. Their eternity is messed up. They can't handle that. If you're a believer, they need as many wives as possible. And someone said yesterday, Cody will never take another wife. I disagree. Someone else said that Cody will not take another wife, and Cody will also not be given another wife. I also disagree. I heard someone say no one would ever marry Cody. I also disagree. This group, regardless of what you and I believe, doesn't care about what we're seeing on TV, because they know that it's like manufactured drama and it's over the top and it's dramatized. And inside the church and in their group, he could still very well get a wife if he wanted one, and if he asked, and if he sought, and if he could find another family that wanted to marry into their family. It's not impossible. There's men that are worse than Cody that had like zillions of wives. Think Warren Jeffs. So even though he has only 3 wives now, Meri and Cody's relationship is all but over. And it has been for years. Yet Meri stays and they have a celestial marriage. And Meri said that this is very reminiscent to her with Cody leaving her. And so she can recognize that look in Christine's eyes because she's gone through it, but on the other end where Cody has left her. And then Cody says that he never left her or gave up on her. He actually just said that the relationship wasn't healthy and they had to move on, and that they're never actually going to be back together.
I didn't give up on Meri. It just turned out the relationship was essentially unstable. I just didn't feel like it was tenable. It's not a functional relationship. We can get along, but we can't be together.
Meri says that she isn't going to leave Cody because even though Cody doesn't want her, and she knows that people know that she's being ridiculous for staying with him, that she's at peace with staying with him because she prays on it and meditates on it. And why? Because Meri is a believer, allegedly, assuming that what we're seeing is true. And if you're a believer, you're going to stay in a relationship. Now, I've spoken to people that know Meri in their real life, and she's still in very much a world of believing in this and hasn't left her faith. So as far as I can tell, this isn't a lie. Meri does believe that she needs to stay with Cody because her eternal life is on the line. She won't be able to see her mom or dad, all of her family, which is sad. It's like being held hostage in a horribly dysfunctional family with the promise of eternity in their celestial kingdom. What happens at the end of it when they realize it's not true? And then you think of all the suffering that they go through, all the needless suffering they go through. It's sad. It's so sad. Because if they left this faith and they found other faith, they could have more freedom. I'm just saying. So she stays. And then Robyn, because she believes that she needs to do the same things, is like, yeah, Meri, you need to stay. I'm so glad you stay. Robyn is literally the worst friend that you could have. She's not a good friend. If you saw your friend being treated terribly by their husband, would you encourage them to stay because you can go to heaven together? Don't you think that there's a better way to get to heaven? What kind of God, this is always the question I have, what kind of God would be okay watching suffering like this of people on earth? Do you really think that there's a God in heaven? If there's a God in heaven that they believe in, this one, that they would be satisfied watching them suffer unnecessarily on earth, not getting loved, not getting their needs met, having too many children that they can handle, having tons of financial issues, not having like freedom, free will, not being able to make their own choices. Is that the kind of life that a God in heaven would want for their people, that their children? Would a dad really want his child to suffer their whole lives? I can't think of a God that would. And it's really sad that this group has twisted this belief system to make these people believe that they have to suffer in order to get to heaven.
Hang on with me, okay?
I am.
We have to rebuild. We have to rebuild, all right?
Yeah, I know, we do.
So Robyn then is pleading with her to basically hang on with her. Hang on with me, hang on with me, hang on with me. Because why? We need to rebuild. I'm trying to figure out what rebuild means in Robyn's world. Does rebuild mean we have to find another wife for our husband? See, I asked Kristen Decker about this, and I said, do you think that if they needed to, Meri and Robyn would go find another wife for Cody? And Kristen said that if they truly believe that their life, eternal life is on the line. Kristen, who lived in polygamy for 50 years, said a wife, a good wife that believes in this, would certainly do what she needs to do to find her husband another suitor so they can reach their goal of eternity. And even if that means that she has to sacrifice time with him, if that means that their lives are going to change, they will do it because they need more wives at this point. 3, again, is the bare minimum. What else does rebuilding mean? What could it possibly mean? To me, what is there to rebuild? Christine is gone. Janelle's practically out the door, and you've got Meri and Robyn. If it's only Meri and Robyn that stay, say it is only Meri and Robyn that stay, then what? Do they get another wife, or do they abandon altogether? And then my question is, if Robyn is still a believer, would she stay with Cody if he were to leave the faith because she believes she needs to live in plural marriage? I have so many questions.
I really wanted to live plural marriage, give that big picture of the whole family to my kids. I want that for my kids, but I want it for me too. I had other choices. This is what I wanted. Have to watch as they destroy what I wanted. I just can't let it go.
Have you ever noticed how many times Robyn explains that she had other choices? She really wants people to understand that, like, she was sought after by so many people and she didn't have to go here, okay? Like, they're trying to, again, tell you that there was consent here. Mind you, Robyn had 3 children. She was a divorcee. She wasn't, in their circles, a hot commodity. They prefer young and unattached mothers that have women that have never had kids, the men do. And so Robyn was, from a polygamous standpoint, will they absorb her? Yes, but she's not, I mean, she didn't have tons of polygamists knocking down her door. I highly doubt it. Maybe in the real world, she had men that wanted to date her. I could see that. But she's always got to remind you that other men wanted her. Why? Because, in my opinion, they need to make you believe that she's there consenting. But the truth is, she's there because she believes she needs to be there. Why? Because she thinks her eternal heaven is dependent on this. And what mother, my question, would want their child to be exposed to the dysfunction, the abuse, the financial neglect, the emotional neglect, the horrific neglect by the dad of the children, the verbal and emotional abuse of the father to the kids, the loneliness and sadness of the mothers? What does that give a child? You know what I've noticed is it makes kids feel alone. It makes them feel abandoned. If you talk to some of the Brown kids, they felt like Robyn's kids got things that they didn't get. They felt isolated. I mean, the one thing I will say is this show saved the kids from their cult. They got out of the cult because of the show, not because of, had they stayed secretive, they probably would all be polygamists now. So if there's one caveat, is that the kids got out and saw the real world. What kind of life is that for children to grow up in that kind of environment? Have you ever looked at the news? In there's areas, there's always accidents in polygamous communities. There's always mysterious passings of children. There's often like medical neglect and educational neglect. There's so many problems. Why would you want to expose your children to that? So they can get into heaven? It doesn't make sense. Again, flawed logic. You have to be truly indoctrinated to believe that this is healthy for children. And then that makes me question Robyn as a mom, because what good, healthy mom would want her kids exposed to someone like Cody? Because she said that she left David because he was abusive, but now she's with Cody, who's probably as bad as David. So I think it's really lame that she's blaming Christine for leaving and destroying her dream. No one guaranteed that this would happen. And again, she's the one that willingly joined this family. No one put a gun to her head and said she had to join. She put herself in the situation. Now, she put herself in the situation because she wanted what Cody could give, and they wooed her and they loved bomb her. But at the same time, like, nobody destroyed something that wasn't theirs to destroy. And conversely, let me just flip this. Robyn destroyed the lives of many of the women involved because they felt that her coming into the family took away their resources. Some of the kids feel like her coming into the family destroyed their relationships with their dad, destroyed their mom's relationships with their dad. So Robyn says that she's destroyed, but really, is she? Is she destroyed? Or is it that her eternity is destroyed? Because I feel like the lives that were destroyed are outnumbered by multiples of 10 of what Robyn and her kids did by coming into the family compared to what Christine does by leaving. Christine is actually saving herself and saving her kids from future hurt. Christine is actually saving herself. Robyn is the one that chooses to stay destroyed. What are your thoughts? Tell me in the comments below. Bye, guys.